Okay, before we get into the rest of the show, the John Bolton stuff and everything else, let's address the elephant in the room. That would be the No Kings protests over the weekend. Now, just a little background on this, leading up to this, stuff that we talked about many times before on the show. Remember, communism, for all of its history, it has understood the power of large public demonstrations, protests, riots, things like that. All the way back to the Bolsheviks, they've always understood that. And where they can't generate actual, genuine, crowds, they will create them. In fact, most of communist history is them creating crowds. You create professional, essentially riot organizations. You pay professional rioters. They spread information about an upcoming protest or riot on social media, trying to gin up popularity for them. And then on the day of it, yes, there'll be some people there who are deranged communists. We'll get to them in a moment. But the leaders of it are almost always going to be paid and organized. Almost every communist protest you've ever seen in the United States of America was paid and organized. Paid and organized. They never advertised that, of course. The idea is they want me to feel like these are organic things. People are just mad about Trump, but they're never organic things. Paid and organized. That's why pallets of bricks show up. That's not cheap. That's why professional signs show up. That's why they're paid and organized. All right, we got that. Now, leading up to Saturday, you saw Democrat politician after Democrat politician after communist activists talking about the No Kings protest on Saturday. No Kings this, no Kings that. So it was professional. It was paid. It was organized. And it was the standard bunch of freaks. In fact, if you want to feel really great about something, because I watched a lot of it, clips and things like that, what I could, the organic part of it never happened, really. There were the professionals, of course. Most of those were easy to spot. The other ones who showed up were just old, deranged communists. Those are the most committed communists in the country, old gray hairs now, former hippies usually, and, weirdo, freak, trannies, furries, all these other people. It didn't turn out to be what they wanted it to be. They wanted it to be this mass movement that sucked in the normies, but normies overall are happy with the Trump administration. They just are. Its approval numbers remain over 50%. That's very high for a modern American president. The American people, as of right now, are happy with Donald Trump. If he ran for election today, he'd win again. That's just the bottom line. Now, speaking of the elephant in the room, this portion of the No Kings protest is getting a lot of attention.
Hey! You ever heard of Ozempic,
Right? We saw that walking ad for Ozempic making fun of Charlie Kirk's death, making fun of his assassination. Now, okay, look, some crazy, deranged street animal being violent is not exactly something that's going to surprise you at all. It didn't surprise me. If you watch I'm Right, you understand full well how truly deranged and violent these people are. We'll get into the why in a moment. But I did want to take just a little sidebar here and point out that as soon as I saw Chungus there making fun of Charlie Kirk's assassination, I thought to myself, well, let's play a little game. I always play this game. You can play it with me from now on when you see things like that. What is she? Teacher, nurse, or social worker? Teacher, nurse, social worker. Every time it's one of them. And of course, lo and behold, people dug into it online. There's a TikTok, many others, and they found out Chungus was, in fact, a teacher. This brings me to you and me. I know we are all, I shouldn't say all, many of us are stuck in our current situation of some kind. Maybe you're stuck in your town or your school district. I understand that. So I need to put this disclaimer on it. If it's possible for you, get your child out of government schools. If that's not possible, because most people say, it's not possible, I can't. We're stuck here, I can't afford private school, I can't homeschool. Okay, I got that. At least get involved in your child's school. Why am I always able to play that game? Teacher, nurse, or social worker? Because it's always a teacher, nurse, or social worker. Yes, there are wonderful teachers, wonderful nurses. I've never met a wonderful social worker. But either way, that profession is full of violent, disgusting communists who only took that job so they would have access to your child. Not so they could teach them reading, writing, or arithmetic. They took that job so they could take your child and break them. It's bad. It's really, frankly, it's a national security issue. Here's Communist John Denver at the No Kings rally pretending to be a public speaker.
Republicans, Democrats, Independents, black, brown, white, this 68-year-old Jewish baby boomer, Muslim small business owners, Christian Gen Zers. This is, as I said, we are the majority of America. And what do we want? What do we want? We want the promise of America for everyone. We want a voice in our future. We are standing up in peaceful, patriotic protest, just like our founders called out. No thrones, no crowns, no kings. We are standing up because we don't want our streets militarized. We don't want our neighbors disappeared by masked Asians.
Oh, that's hard to listen to. It's not just Chungus. It's the teaching profession from top to bottom. So let's talk about the other aspect of it, because there were many celebrating, cheering on the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And one thing you probably noticed, most of them were old.
We need to get ourselves together, and we might even need to be a little bit meaner, because the Republicans don't mind being mean.
And by mean, what do you mean? Do you mean protesting? Do you mean...
Maybe we have to, I don't know, stop being so nice.
Because you seem like a pretty nice lady.
I'm a pretty nice lady, but I can be pretty mean, too.
Okay, and I have to ask this because people on the other side are going to say that they feel like the Democrat Party has been mean. Recently, with Charlie Kirk being assassinated,
He's a piece of garbage. Of course we were mean. I am so tired of people saying, oh, but, it's a terrible thing. No, Hitler is dead. I'm glad Hitler's dead. Evil people have no place in my world. He was a hateful human being. It was disgusting, the things that he said and did. I don't have time for that. I'm sorry. I have to point my energy in other directions.
I need to explain to you what has happened. Why do you see so many older people so mean, so vicious, so violent? Because that's not how I personally think of older people. That's not been my experience in my own family. I think of my grandma Helen. She worked in her garden. She quilted. She made homemade applesauce. That's the only good thing she made, but still, wonderful woman. My grandpa Hank, a farmer, goes to church every Sunday. This is how I picture older people. So why are there so many older people like this? Well, my grandpa Hank and grandma Helen went to church for 70, 80 years. They loved their family for 70, 80 years. Worked hard for 70, 80 years. You travel down those paths, at the end of it, you are more wonderful than anyone else because you've been on the right path for 70, 80 years. How is that disgusting hag celebrating the murder of a 31-year-old husband and father? She's traveled down a dark path for 70, 80 years. You don't magically become wonderful when your hair turns gray and your skin gets wrinkly. It's going to depend on the paths you take. And that brain-dead, disgusting loser, I guarantee she goes home every single night and she turns on ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN, MSNBC, and she hears this.
Donald Trump is America's Hitler.
A unified Reich? That's Hitler's language. That's not America's. He cares about holding on to power. I care about you.
Donald Trump is acting like a Nazi, talking like a Nazi, and now posting like a Nazi.
And by the way, out there, that hat that you keep wearing, that red hat that says "Make America Great Again," that tells people that you go along with this. So you might as well just put a swastika on the hat.
Adolf Hitler was interviewed,
And I'm quoting from his article where he was interviewed. He said, "Therefore, I say America is for Americans." Stephen Miller took the stage on Sunday evening, and he said, "America is for Americans." He is parroting the exact words of Adolf Hitler.
What could you do to Adolf Hitler? What would your conscience allow you to do to Adolf Hitler? Anything, right? Shoot him, torture him, beat him. You can do whatever you want to Adolf Hitler. Why have they spent years calling you Hitler, Nazi Hitler, Nazi Hitler, Nazi Hitler, Nazi Hitler? Well, it's not because they believed it. It's because they understood their brain-dead street animal followers would be programmed by that kind of language. And now we have legions of people in this country, many of them women, who believe the death of their political opponent is preferable.
Who are you going to kill?
Nazis.
Who do you define as a Nazi?
What do you mean? It's pretty...
In this context, who's a Nazi?
Stephen Miller's a Nazi.
So you're going to kill Stephen Miller?
If I had the chance, yeah, I would.
I don't know if that's something I'd say on camera, bro.
This is a nightmare that I'm living in, and I'm here to make a difference and to be loud and proud, and there's no other way I'd want to celebrate my birthday than with my parents and my best friend fighting for our country.
So for a birthday present, what do you hope happens? You know, you wake up tomorrow morning.
I hope that I see the obituary that we're all waiting for tomorrow. That's what I hope for.
Yeah. you wishing that President Trump is dead?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
They think they're the good guys. This is how they talk with each other. They'll say it on camera. You're fighting Nazis. You can do whatever you want. I will remind you again that we have not seen the last political assassination, the last political death in this country. There are simply too many communists who are violent, who believe that hurting you, hurting the people you vote for is a righteous cause, and therefore they will do it. They will. This will continue. I don't know how we wade our way through this, but it's going to be a rough patch, all right? All that may have made you uncomfortable, but I am right. I would thank you for coming to my YouTube channel, but I know how brilliant it is, and I know you love it here. So subscribe and watch. We're going to start really ramping things up and putting some funny stuff, some interesting stuff out there, some collaborations. Either way, my YouTube channel is officially the place to be. So stick around.